You are listening to the Nightly News Podcast, the voice of the Knights.
Welcome, everybody, to the Nightly News Podcast. This is Professor Paul Miller, and I am so honored to be joined for the last time by two people who I know that if you've been a fan of anything the Nightly News has done, you are fully aware of. This would be co-presidents Dalton Koller and Bret Saveleski. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Hello.
Well, I first want to start off with something very important and certainly worthy of our discussion. We're recording this just the day after the Athletics and Activities banquet that took place in the Conference Center during the term, and we were honored by a couple of really important awards. First of all, the Nightly News took home Club of the Year for 2024-2025. So I want to just start off this conversation with asking you, Dalton, I know you just found out because you were working last night, but what does that mean to you? I mean, I know that in your tenure we'd won previously, but being that you're a senior, you're finishing up, this is literally your last term. What does that honor or accolade mean to you personally as you get ready to leave?
Yeah, as you mentioned, we had won the award 2 years ago, so this will be the second time that in my tenure of being a Nightly News member that we've won it. But it's definitely a great honor to just know that all the work that you're doing, both behind the scenes or what's like people know about, is recognized and appreciated. So yeah, it's always just a great honor, and obviously in my senior year, being the last year, being a part of the Nightly News, it's just a really cool honor to receive from other people on campus.
Yeah, I mean, it just shows that people are paying attention, people are listening, that we're making the impact that we want to make. I mean, you mentioned it last night that the sports broadcasts these last year got the most views we've ever gotten. So,
and I was going to bring that up, and I apologize for interjecting here. An announcement that I made last night was that during the last I don't want to say calendar year, but sports season, our sports season goes basketball into baseball, so 24-25. We have eclipsed 7,500 views across our basketball, and this is just for sports content, across our men's and women's basketball and baseball contests this year, because that was something when we honored Wise at the banquet for their sponsorship that I discussed that 7,500 views. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, in the day of virality and everything else online, 7,500, I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but for us, we have consistently, year over year, continued to build our audience, averaging nearly 300 views per game on our baseball broadcast and just under 300 views per game for our basketball broadcast. I mean, that was a huge accomplishment once I tallied the numbers last night to get over that 7,500 number. But yes, please continue.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot. That's not just like people on campus and parents. Like, we have a small campus. That tells me that there's people outside of our organization that is Central Penn paying attention to our sports broadcast.
One thing that and Steve and I sort of talked about this on the broadcast, but I can't tell you how many fans we have. I can't tell you how many times, especially over the last couple of games in the ESAC championship game, we had multiple people come up to us thanking us for what we did. And, we watch every game and we love to, you guys are so good. And we got some great feedback last night because some of the folks weren't super, super enthralled with the broadcast of the Small College World Series. Of course, we are taking nothing away from the fine work that they do at the USCAA. But we had a couple of comments that, hey, we wish you guys would have been there to do the games. But it really means a lot to us, not only just Steve and I, but we have a whole team of people behind the scenes, and it's just so hard to put into words how much it means to us to hear those things. I mean, we know that the students and the players and the coaches really, really appreciate what we do. I mean, gosh, every time I see Kenton, we're so thankful for what you do. It's like, Kenton, thank you. I appreciate that very much. But to have fans, I mean, it's a new feeling, so I appreciate that very much. Bret, before we get off of that topic, you won a very prestigious award in your own right, if you want to share with that.
Yeah, they gave me a Student Athlete of the Year. Definitely very unexpected, but definitely appreciated. Casey wrote up a nice little nomination for me, so that was nice to hear.
I was just so proud of you. I mean, I think one thing that's a testament to you is, and something you were pretty quiet about, is being on the cross-country team. I obviously now know that you were, but even during the season, you didn't really talk about it a whole lot other than, just talking about running. And, when you were saying about it, I was like, I have no clue with work and school and being, co-president of the club and doing that on top of it. It was like, I was just very surprised. So I'm very proud of you, not only for winning that accolade, but you'd also won some other awards previously, right?
Yeah, I was academic All-American and teammate of the year for cross country.
That is unbelievably fantastic. Kudos to you as well. Well, gentlemen, I don't want to just belabor our discussion here about on your final episode, but really today why I wanted to have you, and this is something that I've certainly done in the past, is I always like to have sort of our outgoing presidents come in and chat, and a lot of this is just going to start from our meeting yesterday. It was a sad one because we actually talked with some of the remaining members about how the sort of contingency plan is going to be after you guys leave, secession plan, I suppose you would call it, and moving Noah, Hannah, and Alex up into those board positions since we're losing the two of you and Nick. So the nightly news will obviously remain, but without a doubt, the two of you have had such a major impact. And Dalton, I'm going to start with you. My first memories of getting to know you were literally on campus for like a month before you jumped right on in headfirst into doing basketball. Now, granted, you were always involved already. You were involved in the baseball team when you first came up on campus. But what was it about what we were doing that really attracted you to that? So much so that a lot of people are like, I usually want to wait a term until I get involved. What was it for you that you're like, no, I'm getting involved right away. I'm jumping headfirst into this. Let's go.
Well, obviously, I came here to get my degree in communications, and obviously, when we had the back to class blast and you got to meet all the clubs and stuff, obviously, I walked by and I saw it at the nightly news. I was like, I was interested, and then I was talking to you. I remember talking to you about like what you all do, and you said, yeah, we write news stories, and then the last thing you said was doing sports broadcasts, and I know that's exactly what I wanted to do with my degree. So I was like, oh, that's perfect. I'm literally going to be here for basically 4 years, just being a part of that broadcast and getting to learn something that I would want to do for the rest of my career. So I was like, that's an absolutely perfect opportunity. Where do I sign up? Where can I, get started like pretty much right away? And that was pretty much it from there.
And of course, Kevon Davis as well, who's working over at the Senators this year, and we wish him well. He also got involved very early on with that. And the two of you, the consistency that we've had in those broadcasts over the last 4 years, I honestly don't even know what the future is for our broadcasts. Obviously, we're going to continue doing them. And certainly, you're more than welcome to make the trek down from wherever you end up to continue doing that. You know that we love to have our alumni back. But as you look back over your own personal growth through the broadcasts over the last few years, what are some of the things that stand out to you?
So I remember at first, obviously the first year, I didn't really do much actual commentary. Most of the stuff was doing production, but I still very much so enjoyed that. And then obviously the more and more, not even just over the years, just every single game, just improving on a little bit of every single aspect I did, whether it was being on production and running the camera and making sure that I'm following as best as I can.
Which is not an easy task.
No, it's definitely not.
I actually was on production quite a bit this year because you and Kevon were doing a lot of the games. I'm like, this is hard.
No, yeah. If you take your eye off the screen to like look up and see what's going on, you can lose track of what's going on very quickly. But I mean, and then obviously last year when I started to be a part of the actual commentary team, starting with color commentary, and this year actually getting a couple opportunities to be play-by-play. It was
more than a couple. You did almost every game.
It was definitely very, very, definitely an enriching experience for sure, and I just had a blast doing it because obviously it's what I want to do for the rest of my life. So, I mean, I just had a blast doing it. Every single game, learning a little bit more to like fill in that dead space and then maybe just, be a little more animated, and I feel like I do a pretty good job at that anyways, but getting to learn a little bit more each time I went out there, it was definitely very cool.
I'm not just saying this because you're sitting next to me, but you are amazing. Like the growth that you've seen over the years. I mean, listen, before I started this, I never had called a basketball game ever. Yes, I had done baseball in some previous roles, but basketball is a whole different animal, and the growth that you'd shown over the years and taking advantage of every opportunity that you had really meant a lot. And that's why I really wanted to take a step back this year as much as I possibly could to give you guys the opportunity, you and Kevon, the opportunity to do some more commentary along with some of our alumni members. But I got to tell you, like, I can't even put into words how proud I was of you and am. I don't say was because it's no longer, like, still am proud of you. But through the basketball season, really just the growth that you've shown, it was truly, truly amazing. And you should be very proud of yourself in the efforts that you've made.
I greatly appreciate the kind words. And obviously, again, it was always a great time doing it. Obviously, in the future, if I'm able to come out, I will most certainly come out because, again, it's just a great time and just a great experience to do it.
No if.
Yeah, when.
But then again, of course, if you get a big job in another major market and it's not convenient for you to do so, I'll certainly understand. But Bret, I want to talk to you a little bit more about your involvement in sports. You were a very, very, very integral person for our baseball team entering the live stats, which again is a very difficult thing to do. One of the things I remember early on, a conversation that we had is in the first probably handful of games, I noticed you were just giving out a lot of errors. And I called you out the one day. I'm like, why are you giving out so many errors? But I just, of course, I was just joking. And I trust your judgment as the official scorer. But what was it like for you getting involved in doing something like that while you're a huge, huge fan of baseball, I don't know that you've ever done something like that before.
No, it's not even work. It's literally something I've always wanted to do. I've always loved baseball. I've always loved the numbers behind it and like being the person that like makes the decisions on the errors and that kind of stuff. And by the way, me and Andrew talked about every single error. So it's not just me. I'm not some authoritative scorekeeper, I promise. But it's literally just a dream. It's every single time. I love it. I hope that I can also come back and keep doing it. It's been awesome.
I'm sure that's a possibility.
Yeah.
Just please let Casey know. I think it's really interesting that when we all started this, I mean, even though, I was doing this a little bit before you guys got here, really it was when you first got here was when FNB Field became a thing. Because if I'm not mistaken, so you would have started here in 21. That's when we started playing over there. Mm-hmm. Because I recall when I did the documentary, The Final Out, that was all still in the net. Now, it's not to say we haven't played it in the net since then, here and there. I mean, the evolution even of just the baseball program from playing it in the net, which is beautiful in its own right, but it's also 45 minutes away. So it was always a challenge to get a lot of people to the games. Certainly not a challenge now, and there's no excuse, it's right down the street. But you've now come full circle because now you are interning with the Harrisburg Senators right now. And I know it's early on in your internship, but can you share with us a little bit about what that experience is like, actually getting to play with work with a professional team?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, again, I keep saying having to say the same things, but it really is a really cool experience. And again, obviously, I remember when I was first starting there. A lot of the people that were just, giving me a rundown of what the job is, they're like, "Have you been here a lot before?" I was like, I play baseball a lot of the time here, so yes, I know the stadium very well. But yeah, it's just been basically what my job is. Basically, I show up and then whatever they need me to do, I go do it. I wear multiple hats as of all the other game day interns and full-time staff do. Whether it's on a rainy day like yesterday, I'm pulling tarps, ushering different seating sections and helping watching over the kids zone and breaking it down whenever we're done for the day, doing exit parking, exit greeting, giving out coupons if we have a giveaway to give out. Basically, it's just whatever they need from me that day is what I do. And obviously, I have a little bit of experience since I do, over the summer, I would work for the Ripken Little League complex. So basically, I was already able to use some of the skills and stuff that I learned there and apply it to the internship. So it's definitely been a really cool experience, but it's also hasn't been too challenging yet. So, I mean, I know that experience is going to help me just learning, working for a professional baseball team, whether it is major leagues or it's only AA, but I mean, it's still a professional baseball team. So it's definitely not going to be, it's definitely going to be a lot of the certain things that I learned there that I could use in my future endeavors with being broadcast or even just working for a baseball team in general.
Well, let's just say this. Okay, so obviously you and Kevon have been really good friends. How does the fact that he has gone from basically exactly doing what you're doing now to a full-time role with them? Yes, to this point it is considered a year-long internship, but I would say there's a fair chance that he's going to remain with the team. So how does seeing somebody in that position just ahead of you motivate you to work your butt off this year to maybe have that same opportunity that he has next year?
Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, me and Kevon have pretty much been in every single class together from the time that we started to the time he graduated in the fall term this year, and obviously I'm graduating this term. But yeah, obviously we've been a part of the broadcast together. We've been a part of the baseball team together. We've been roommates the last 2 years. So obviously me and Kevon, very good friends and know each other very well. And obviously getting to see him getting offered that full-year internship and then not only just working there, but kicking butt
He's
while
killing
he's
it.
there.
He's killing it.
I mean, he's getting recommendations, or he's getting praise from some of the other full-time staff that have been there longer about all the great work he's doing with the sales he's making. And then obviously every single game day he's there doing whatever they need him to do and doing more so. It's definitely been really cool, and I'm almost 100%. Obviously, I don't employ, so I don't give out the positions. But if I would, he would be getting it. But even still, even though I'm not, he's still going to be offered a full-time position. So it's definitely been really cool to see. And obviously, yeah, that it's definitely a really big motivation. Obviously, me knowing Kevon, it helped get my foot in the door because at least I know someone there that can, speak up and say, hey, this kid's a really good, really hard worker. He's going to do everything you want him to do and more. And obviously, that was a really big help. But yeah, it definitely helps me get that motivation to know if you just show up and not only do what you're supposed to do, but go the extra mile, take the extra step, do a little bit more than what they ask of you. It definitely helps me, realize that, hey, if I do that, I can be given the same opportunities as him.
And what was it like walking across the stage with him?
Oh my gosh. It was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, obviously, I know that he started his college career a year earlier than me when he went to York College, and obviously transferred here the same year I got here. So I wasn't entirely sure as I thought maybe he'd finish last year, but then he said that he was going to be finishing the fall this year and then we'd be walking together. I was absolutely ecstatic because, I mean, I'm just going to be honest. I love Kevon to death. That dude's one of my best friends, almost like a brother to me. So it was obviously a really cool experience. And obviously Blake Myers, too. He's also been my roommate for the past couple of years. So, and of
course, a major cog in the nightly news as well.
Absolutely. And then obviously a couple of the other baseball players. Really, really cool to just be there with all those guys and just walk across the stage with them. It was just absolutely, and obviously Bret was there too. He obviously, yes, absolutely.
I don't want to take that away. I was going to come to Bret next.
Yes. So yeah, it was just a really, really cool night that night to be walking across the stage with so many people that I've been with for the past 4 years.
And Bret, obviously, graduation is a big deal. You weren't here quite as long as Dalton and Kevon were. But nonetheless, you've made some amazing strides in the time that you've been here. What was it like to be there that night and walk across that stage? What feeling did you have inside, even if it wasn't like right then and there, but maybe since then, so that if you've had time to reflect on it?
It's kind of weird. It's like 4 years of your life just like put into one night, just like one time, like a couple minutes of you just walking across the stage and hearing your name. Like it's like almost like surreal. Like I'm pretty far past being graduated from high school, so I kind of forgot what it was like. But definitely really cool to see like literally everybody who I've met since I've been here. We all graduated the exact same night, which is a crazy coincidence. So yeah, very cool, very fun experience. Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you, as I think back, there's absolutely no way that our athletic broadcasts, and really just our athletics as a whole, because, Bret, I know that you weren't really on the broadcasts because you were, doing other stuff for athletics, but the amount of professionalism that has been a part of not only just the nightly news, but our athletics as a whole over the past several years is really attributed to both of you. Of course, it's not just you. We have a team of people, and I don't want to take anything away from those other individuals. But as I look at our, especially basketball broadcast, Dalton, the quality of the commentary that I have seen just improve year after year after year, the professionalism level, it's amazing. And obviously I'm hoping that every year we keep getting better, and that's always been our goal since day one of doing this. Like, let's just improve a little bit each year and try to bring new things in each and every year to make it better. But gosh, and again, you're always welcome to come back. But I just kind of wonder what the future looks like, losing such two just so important and instrumental people like you and Kevon moving forward. So I just want you to know like how much you are absolutely valued by this organization. And as I look behind me at this Club of the Year on the wall, I want to celebrate this with the two of you because you've been our leaders for the past year. And Bret, I mean, gosh, the ability that you've had, your level of professionalism, again, being there at F&B every day, getting to have your home, your office up in the press box, which I'm still very jealous about, by the way, because every time I talk about calling games, they're like, oh, you sit in the press box? I'm like, no, I'm out down there getting sunburned and rained on and everything else while you guys are nice and dry upstairs. But it's really just truly fantastic. The people that come out to these games are treated to a professional level, not only play on the field, but professionalism in how the game is ran as well. So long as the umpires show up.
Yeah, that can be an issue. But for real, I don't know if there's another school in the country our size who does the things we do.
I think you're right. Like I said, it's really interesting because we did have the chance to watch the Small College World Series, and again, taking nothing away from the USCAA, I know that they're very hard workers, but obviously I had to compare their broadcast with ours, and I just thought that our broadcast was just a much higher level of professionalism. Maybe it's because we've been doing it for such a long time, and we kind of have it down, and we have the ability to pretty much do whatever we want over at FMB Field, but at the same time, that just makes me proud that we do such a great job, that so many people appreciate, that the players and coaches appreciate, that the college community, but maybe more importantly, the alumni and the parents of these players, I mean, it means the world to them. And frankly, these broadcasts can't happen without you. I can't do this myself. Especially for basketball. I guess, during the ESAC championship game, I did call the game on my own and did things, but it's just a team that is needed. For basketball, I mean, it is literally impossible to try to call a game by yourself. You can't call a game, produce, and really you can't call a game by yourself anyway. So it's all about the team for us, and we're so lucky to have had both of you on. As we get ready to finish up the show, I want you to think of the one moment, Nightly News related, that stands out to you that you recall during your time being a part of the club. I'll start with you, Dalton.
Wow, that's a lot. 4 years to go.
I know I'm putting you on the spot.
No, honestly, I think even though I guess you could maybe say recency bias, but I don't think so. Just getting to call almost all of the home games, whether it was color or play-by-play, not only with you or also the couple times that Brian got there, but also alongside Kevon too. That was definitely, I think that would probably be my favorite moment. Obviously, getting the nomination for Club of the Year 2 times, that's obviously awesome. But I do think just getting to call the basketball games alongside you and alongside Brian and alongside Kevon, also Tyler, the couple times I did it with him as well. It was really cool. And honestly, again, I couldn't really ask to do it with better people and people that have an appreciation for the commentary that we do as much as you guys do. So that was, if I had to choose one moment, it's not really one moment, but just the full season of basketball this year would probably be my favorite Nightly News related moment.
Well, you most certainly earned it. And again, I knew how much working with Kevon meant to you, and that's why really certainly the second half of last season, I wanted to take a step back from the commentary, and that's why I put myself on production, because, and even just sitting next to you and hearing the way that you two, you could tell, I mean, obviously you're good friends, but you could tell that you'd had a lot of experience together, because it was like so natural for you to step right in. Even the first game, that you'd never done a game together, it was like you'd been doing this for a decade.
No, yeah, I remember that game specifically. I forget exactly who we were playing, but I remember before, watching, I kept looking up at the scoreboard and watching, the pregame clock tick down and getting, a little bit, butterflies, a little bit nervous because obviously I've never done it before. So it was definitely just kind of think of, how I want to introduce the show, what I want to do in between, how I want to how often I want to read ad breaks and stuff like that. And obviously there's other things that go into that. But just remember beforehand getting a little bit of, butterflies. But then as soon as we started, I was like, it's go time. There's no more time to be nervous or question. I just got to go.
It's so funny for me, and I don't know if you noticed the same thing, but I'm almost I don't want to say a different person, but it's almost like I'm unlocking a different part of my brain, because when I stop and think about it, just right now, it's like when I turn that record button on, it's like a whole different part of me comes out, and it's like I'm just locked in. But if you'd say, hey, let's go call a game right now, I'd be like, I'd be a little hesitant. But as soon as that record button goes, it's like a whole different side of me, which I think is a testament to how much experience really makes a difference. But Bret, same question. When you think back to your experiences with the Nightly News, what's one of the most memorable moments that you can recall?
I'll go back a little ways to one of the first stories I ever wrote was about Third in the Berg, which is if listeners don't know, it's like an art exhibit event in Harrisburg that they do every third Friday of every month. I actually interviewed the person who organizes Third in the Berg, who's also a journalist for The Berg, which is the best publication anywhere around, in my opinion.
Most certainly.
Got to interview her and just like talk about like that whole process of organizing all that stuff and all the marketing they do, and also like a professional in the journalism field, which I had just recently, like a month before, joined the Nightly News. That was really cool.
You've done some amazing. Both of you have. I want to take nothing away, but you've done some really cool features. The one about comedy was one that really resonated with me because I love stand-up comedy. Love it. Even since I was a kid, I've gotten to see some of the best comedians, Chris Rock, Mitch Hedberg, or two that come to my mind that I've seen. But Bret, you were a comedian.
Yeah,
Put
I
the
do
pitch
that.
out there, and as soon as you're done, the first time I can possibly get down, I'm going to come see you, and we're going to make a big deal out of it. But tell the audience a little bit more about your comedy experience.
Yeah, I've been doing stand-up all throughout Central PA and Northern Maryland, everywhere I can for about the last year or so. I started in last July, out there 4 or 5 times a week, hitting mics all throughout the area. A couple that are coming up. I'm at the Harrisburg Comedy Zone every Thursday, with the exception of yesterday because of the banquet. For their open mic, it's the best free comedy show literally within 200 miles. If you haven't been there, just go. You'll understand. I'll be at 0 Day Brewing next Tuesday. They have a showcase there and a mic afterwards. Just some literally fantastic comedians in the Harrisburg area that nobody knows about. Just go. Just Google search comedy Harrisburg. You'll find a ton of free shows or shows that benefit the community. They do fundraising stuff all the time. And if you want to know more about stuff that I do, follow me on Instagram, Bret Matthews Comedy. I don't go by my last name because it's hard to pronounce. So Bret Matthews Comedy.
I got to write that down.
Yeah, thanks for the plug.
So, well, one of the things that I always recall with you is you are our popcorn man at the film series. So I'm not sure. The one time you weren't there, it was a total disaster. So hopefully you've bequeathed the knowledge of putting on the popcorn maker so we don't burn the theater down. Not that we were close, but we certainly got pretty smoky down there.
I think as long as the burner's on the right way, you guys will be all right.
Yeah, and I think now I realize what the issue was. But listen, guys, as much fun as we've had here today, and as much fun as we've had over the past couple of years, these moments are just bittersweet because, you know, one of the best parts of my job is getting to work with people like you. And you guys know, and you know some of our alumni, like, you know, Jen and Dylan and Abby, who, you know, I still manage to get to see every once in a while, and I certainly hope that we are still able to communicate after you finish. But it's days like this that are the hardest for someone like me. Now, of course, I'm rooting for you, and I wish you all the best, and I don't want you to stay in college forever because there's something wrong with that. But at the same time, it's tough for me because I have developed such a positive relationship with you guys over the past few years. But I just want you to know that I'll always be in your corner, and if you ever need anything, I hope that I'm one of the first people that you call because that's part of my job. My job doesn't just end when you walk across that stage or finish your final class. Like, my job will continue all the way as long as I'm needed. So I hope that you keep that in mind. But gentlemen, as fun as this has been, it's also very sad because I'm going to miss the heck out of you once you're gone. And so is the nightly news. I mean, you guys were such influential parts of everything that we've done. And that's why I wanted to make sure this thing got up on the wall today. So for your last podcast, you could enjoy that for one last time. So, you know, gentlemen, you're always welcome back as part of the not only just the nightly news, but Knights athletics as a whole. I'm just sorry to have to say that this is your final podcast. So, any final thoughts, Dalton?
Yeah, obviously. I mean, again, you pretty much hit the nail right on the head. These last 4 years, being a part of the nightly news and being a part of the broadcast team, and obviously me getting to be a part of the baseball team as well, and just being an active member on campus and just getting to know so many, you know, kind and, you know, caring people. It's just been a really cool. It's just been really cool, and I've considered Central Penn College to be a second home for me. Obviously, living on campus and just being a part of this community, it's been a very, very humbling and learning experience for sure. And obviously, I'm gonna miss being a part of the broadcast. And obviously, I'll still try and make my rounds and be, you know, come back here as much as I can. But just getting, you know, I'm gonna miss being a part of all the meetings, being there for every single basketball game, being there for all the baseball games and all of that. It's definitely gonna be a little bit of a gut punch the first time when I go home and realize I'm not going to be able to do all that stuff. But again, just being here and getting to know all of you guys, and obviously you and Professor Olympi, just being advisors and mentors for me these past 4 years, being a part of the Nightly News, whether it's writing stories or being broadcasted or anything like that along those lines. You guys have been obviously very accepting of me and very, honestly, to a certain extent, taking me under your wing. So it's been really, really cool these past 4 years.
And you have one more story coming out. You're going to do we named Owen Zell the Nightly News Athlete of the Year, so that'll be your final piece as well.
Yes, getting to interview him, obviously one of my teammates for the past 4 years. He got here same time as I did, so just get to interview him and, give him the honor that he, deserves. So it's going to be really cool.
Any final thoughts, Brett?
I was on a submarine for 5 years in the Navy. I've been around the world 3 times over. I am more amazed at the things that this school does, this small school in central Pennsylvania, than anything that I did while I was there. There are literally so many opportunities here, and like the things you will do on this campus, should you get involved, which you should, will blow you away. It's not even work. It's literally, you can make it anything you want. If you want to write for the Nightly News and write about stuff that's going on in Harrisburg or just feature stories, you can do that. They'll free you up creatively to do pretty much whatever you want. Anybody who's listening, get involved. Do stuff. It's cool.
I just can't wait to come see you perform. I think that's so cool. That's one of the first things I'm going to do as soon as you graduate. I'm going to be out to your shows. Well, again, I hate to say goodbye, but it's certainly not goodbye. And of course, you're certainly welcome to come to the Hall of Fame induction ceremony during homecoming. I'm hoping that you both take that into consideration. The Friday of homecoming weekend from 12 to 2. You're certainly invited to that, but maybe down the line you'll be recognized at one of those fine ceremonies. But unfortunately, it can't be this year because of our bylaws. You're going to have to wait till next time. But gentlemen, you're always going to be a part of the Central Penn family, and I certainly hope to continue getting to call games with you and seeing you, Brett, at the sporting events. And all I can say is I wish you the best, and let me know how I can help you. All right, well, that's going to do it for this episode of the Nightly News Podcast for co-presidents Dalton Koller and Bret Saveleski. This is Professor Paul Miller, and we'll see you again next time on the Nightly News Podcast.
This is Nick Hogan, Secretary of the Nightly News and CPC Film Stories correspondent. You're listening to the Nightly News Podcast.
Welcome to the Nightly News Podcast. This is Professor Paul Miller. I'm also here with the Nightly News correspondent, Noah Lopez, and we've got some really special guests in the studio today.
Yes.
First of all, Noah, say hello to everyone.
Oh, hello, everyone. This is Noah Lopez, the Nightly News correspondent. You hear my voice at the end of every term when I read, the news things.
Well, we also hear you on lots of other podcasts.
Well, yes.
Plus, Noah, I've been playing a lot of the station IDs. In fact, on today's episode that just came out, we are using the Sir Will.
Oh, we were using
ID.
that. Helmet or no helmet? And we had a little special effect.
I throw them in a little bit of both. I like the normal one, but I do throw the helmet in on occasion. Cool. All right, well, we are here with our great friends from West Shore Connect here on Connection Tuesday, and so we're going to be chatting with them a little bit about their experiences with West Shore Connect, and maybe a little bit more about some fun stuff. So I'm going to have them introduce themselves.
My name is Marissa O.
Marissa, it's a pleasure to have you. And
welcome on, Marissa. Welcome.
And you were on the last podcast that we did, right?
And this is my last year.
No, really?
So you're getting ready to graduate here too? Oh, man. We're so sorry to hear that, but we've loved you being here. And we're also being joined by... Go ahead.
My name is Anita Diaz. I am 20, and I'm the West Shore Connect.
That's awesome.
Welcome on, Diaz.
We are
This is Alita's first year.
Yes.
So,
it's your first year, Lita.
Hey, I'm in the first year of West Shore Connect.
That's fantastic. So we love being a part of West Shore Connect. I have known about West Shore Connect since Addie's first year, since the very first year that West Shore Connect was here on campus. So I really, really appreciate everything that you do. You really bring a bright spot to our campus, and we greatly appreciate that.
Yeah, we appreciate everything. I like seeing you guys on walks, and it adds a little bit of community to the campus because sometimes those sidewalks are really empty. So seeing you guys walk around, it's like, oh, wow, they're bringing some liveliness to the college.
I love it.
That's cool.
So I'm going to have a question for you, and then Noah will have a question for you, and we'll let both of you answer, okay? All right, so Marissa, is this your second year?
Third year.
This is your third year. Okay. So let me first ask you, especially since this might be your last podcast before you graduate, what are some of the most memorable experiences that you've had as part of West Shore Connect?
All the Connection Tuesdays.
Okay.
And what was your favorite ones? And we'll just assume that the nightly news are your favorite. What is your second favorite?
The fundraisers.
So tell us a little bit about some of those fundraisers.
So this fundraisers we're doing is the pretzel fundraiser.
Oh, the pretzel fundraiser. That's what I like to hear. I'm a big fan. Are they soft pretzels?
They're soft pretzels or hard pretzels.
I love soft pretzels. They are my favorite.
How are they being made? Do you guys make them yourselves, or are you selling them from an outside
We're
source?
selling them.
Okay, nice.
Well, I am so glad that we have gotten to be part of the Connection
Yes.
Tuesday events. Other than the Connection Tuesday events, what are some other memorable things that you remember doing? I know I'm putting you on the spot here.
Going to the Knights football team.
That's cool.
Baseball.
Oh, yeah, when you guys went out to Community Day, right?
Yes.
That was so cool, and that was such a great day. So I actually get to call those games, and Noah actually got to do photography
I did.
this
I
year.
took pictures there. Yeah, that
my
was me. I was ching, ching, ching. I was everywhere.
So Noah, that was a really cool experience. So what? I know that you're not necessarily the one being interviewed here, but what were your impressions about getting to do photography for Knights baseball this year?
I think as a first time doing photography for sports, it is kind of hard when you don't know what's going on. So I had to kind of just make judgments, and all in the end, I just decided to take pictures of the people that were doing the most things or whatever was moving. And I like getting action shots where things are mid-air because I just think, personally, those ones look super cool, in my opinion.
And trust me, you would have never known that you were not a huge baseball fan because you did some fantastic work. And actually, and I don't know if you've noticed this, Noah, one of the things that I really like is that we do share these photos with marketing.
Yes.
Some of your photos were actually used in some Central Penn marketing materials.
Really?
Yeah.
Where? Where's my compensation?
Go to the. Well, first of all, you are being paid by the
Okay, yes,
school to
true,
take
true.
said photos, so that was your compensation.
True.
But yeah, literally the day after your first time, when you took that picture of Owen running through the, what would you call it?
I don't know.
They were
dugout?
lined up on both sides, and he came out
he ran
through the
it.
tunnel.
Yeah, the high five everybody to welcome them onto the starting.
They used that
Yeah.
the very next day.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It was a cool picture.
It was
good
you
picture.
had some excellent pictures, and I want to give you a lot of credit for doing that. All right, so favorite moment, favorite experience with West Shore Connect that you've had?
I just had the social skills, and I just have any more classwork completed.
Okay,
That's awesome.
so I do have a really important question for both of you.
Oh, yeah.
What?
So I got the chance yesterday. I kind of walked in and interrupted something really cool you guys were doing yesterday.
Uh-oh.
And apparently, when I came in to get my lunch, you were speaking with a local chef. And apparently, he showed you a whole lot of really cool things. So, Marissa, can you tell me a little bit more about what the local chef got to talk about and maybe some of the things you learned?
He talked about how's restaurant where he's located at.
But you also learned some really cool things,
How
too.
to cook
How to cook. What did you learn how to cook?
with his specialty knife.
Oh, so that
specialty knife.
that's a really important thing. Is you have to know how to use knife skills. So
You gotta always you gotta have the claw method when you're cutting.
Yes,
man.
when you're cutting, you
Make sure
always
your
want to
fingers
cut.
aren't out.
You
Yeah.
cut into your knuckles, so if something happens, that knuckle is really
Cutting 101 there.
Yes.
You forgot that
Yes.
part.
Chef Ben told us that he cut his finger.
Oh my jeez.
Trust
I
me.
mean, it's still hard to avoid. Sometimes you forget.
When you work in a restaurant business, you're either cutting yourself or burning yourself. I burned myself so many times. I can't even tell you,
I
but
got hot grease all over my
We
arms.
cooked
I'm
a lot of stuff yesterday.
surprised I don't have. Oh, you did? What did you make?
Chicken salad.
Can I have some?
they
No
offered
leftovers?
they offered me some. I had a lunch, so
I didn't have any
take
leftovers, man. No
and
leftovers.
fruit salad.
Fruit salad is cool.
It looked great. They had chicken. They made a garden salad, and they also made a fruit salad too.
And we also made homemade dressing.
dressing too.
What kind of dressing was it?
Fresh brand specialty dressing.
Chef
special dressing.
Probably like a vinaigrette of some kind,
Yes.
maybe. Yeah. that's
Alita,
really cool.
did you make any special foods?
Oh, yeah. Chef Sonnet.
A salad, okay, same.
Oh, yes. And I just make the pizza, yeah.
Oh.
What was that? What was your favorite out of all the things you made?
I mean, a cheese pizza.
Cheese pizza? Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Cheese pizza.
So let me ask you, what is your favorite food?
My favorite food is tacos.
Oh,
Tacos. We had tacos for lunch today.
You know what's crazy
Yes.
about that? I literally had tacos for dinner last night.
Tacos are
I
everything.
can eat a taco anytime. Doesn't have to be Taco Tuesday. For me, it's taco every day of the week.
It's burritos, man. I'm a burrito guy.
I like burritos.
Burritos are better.
Burritos are a little too heavy because.
Heavy? Well, it depends on the size. It's got to be a thin one.
Do you ever go to Nito Burrito?
Oh, those things are huge.
Ooh, I
These
love
things
that
Yeah,
are
place.
they're the size of a plate. It's
rid-
terrible.
I mean, that's at least 2 meals, right?
I like handheld burritos, like the normal ones you get from Taco Bell or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but those massive burritos, and they're so good. But I mean, literally, if I ever go to Nito Burrito, I cut that thing right in half. I
It's
put half
too
of it in a
huge.
foil, and then I'll eat the other half because
too
it's too
big,
much.
Yeah.
Marissa, what's your favorite food?
My favorite food is enchiladas.
Enchiladas, please. What's the backstory on that? Everyone has a backstory.
My mom makes them.
Okay, that's nice. Is your mom, she have a connection to enchiladas or?
Yes.
Oh, that's nice.
Noah, what's your favorite food?
My favorite food? Oh, don't put me on the spot like that. I don't even know. I just said I like burritos, but
Or what's your favorite food at the cafe?
the cafe, I like the mac and cheese bites. They're pretty good. The cafe does have nice mac and cheese bites for sure. But favorite food of all time? I do like my mother's empanadillas.
Oh,
And
What's
her,
those?
they're empanadas, but they're pronounced empanadillas because my mother's Puerto Rican, so I get to eat a lot of Puerto Rican food. I love her Spanish rice. You can never go wrong with that. And when I went to France, I actually really like duck meat. Duck meat is good. That's underrated.
if you listen, I've watched enough Food Network to know if you get a duck breast, you have to score the fat and leave the fat down, fat side down, and it renders off the fat from the duck breast, and then
Really?
it cooks the duck the rest of the way. So that's how you actually cook duck.
Cooking is awesome. What do you say, guys? Think cooking is awesome?
Yes.
Yes.
Cooking is awesome.
I love cooking. Well, listen, we're getting ready to get out of here, but I wanted to leave you one last thing. So I know that we've had in the past some of your favorite fellow West Shore Connect students. If they're out there listening right now, what would you like to tell them?
Yes. Say they're listening to this right now, what would you say?
I missed all my West Shore Connect people last year.
Oh, yeah?
I did work on checking emails and texting professors, and I just text professors and before I check my emails.
Well,
Okay.
I got to tell you, we all here at Central Penn are so proud of all of you. And Marissa, I'm going to miss you so much, but I'm sure that I will see you before you graduate.
Yes.
You still have a few more weeks, right?
Yes, we graduate June 18th.
You're graduating that soon. Wow.
Well, I will make sure that I put June 18th on my calendar so we can come down. And, of course, anyone else out there.
And it's at the underground in the theater.
Okay, underground in the theater. Nice.
And anybody else out there that's able to come out, we are more than welcome to come out and support all of our friends at West Shore Connect.
There's 4 of us graduating.
Well,
4 of us is, man, it's better than nothing.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I wanted to thank everyone for being here today, and we're in the middle of our Connection Tuesday, and we're going to get ready and go downstairs and have a board game and ping pong tournament.
My idea, by the way.
I love it. I love it, Noah. All right. Well,
Yes.
again, thank you so much for being here, you
Yeah.
two.
Thank you guys so much.
Yes,
Appreciate it.
welcome.
All right, we're back here on Connection Tuesday with the Nightly News and the West Shore Connect folks. We are very, very honored and happy to be here. Not only that, we are here with one of our most prolific Nightly News reporters, which we'll get to in just a minute. But I want to have everybody have the opportunity to introduce themselves as we go around.
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm a nightly news reporter here, and I really love it.
And Alex has been doing some wonderful stuff just recently on an episode of the pod and working on some amazing stories. So keep up the good work, Alex. And again, some special things might be happening here over the summer. Alex might be stepping into a leadership role. So we shall see.
My name is Clarissa. I'm a first year West Shore Connect.
It's your first year, but
Yeah.
then you said you're getting ready to graduate.
Yeah,
How's that?
it's a little nerve-wracking because I don't know what I'm going to do after.
I got to tell you, I'm going to give you some advice. You're not the only one who went to
Yeah.
graduation and doesn't know what they're going to do next, so you don't have to feel badly
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
Last but not least,
Yes, I am Elijah. This is my first year, and not only am I a student at West Shore Connect, but I am also another one of those nightly news reporters. Yes.
Well, you're not just one of those. You're definitely one of the most special ones. You have done some fantastic work, Elijah. You've not only, done a number of articles, you've been in our last 2 publications. What did that feel like when you opened up that publication and you saw yourself in print?
Well, I felt very happy about myself. It's one of my dream jobs is like some journalism, and it's because I'm very interested in like knowing about certain things, getting like traveling, yeah, seeing me in like these like news publications definitely makes me very happy and ecstatic.
But yeah, getting to work with Professor Olympi, I'm hoping that that's something that's going to be beneficial to you. Well, so we want to get to a chance to talk to you about your experiences with West Shore Connect. So first and foremost, this has been, I know, your only year, but tell us some of the most favorite memories you've had about your time with West Shore Connect to this point.
Just be like all in the classes and all.
What classes have you taken?
Infographic literature.
Okay.
And
who was your professor?
Stuckey.
Oh, Dr. Stuckey. We haven't gotten to see Dr. Stuckey for a little while. We're hoping that she'll be back soon.
Yeah.
What other classes have you taken?
So I took CBC Foundations.
And who was your professor for that?
Dr. Reif.
Dr. Reif.
Yeah.
So I got a funny story about Dr. Reif for you. Dr. Reif and I started here on the same day, literally the exact same day. And in January, it will have been 10 years since Dr. Reif and I started here full time. What do you think about that?
So cool.
I know. Dr. Reif was my boss for a while. I mean, he still technically is my boss, but he's my boss's boss, I suppose is the easiest way to say. But Dr. Reif and I have experienced a lot here in our time at Central Penn. Well, I'm so glad that you've gotten the chance to enjoy your classes. Elijah, what are some good memories of, we talked a little bit about the nightly news, but nightly news aside, what are some cool memories that you have here?
Well then, aside from nightly news, I really like how like West Shore Connect does all these field trips. Like sometimes we'll go to Harrisburg. We went over to Penn State Harrisburg 2 times. We've also been to the Capitol, and then we've been to Strawberry Square too. And then there was also this one other field trip, which we went over to Capital City Mall. That was during the second day before holiday break.
Oh,
and
I bet it was busy over there. I used to work at the mall for a long time, and boy, it was insane around the holidays. I mean, obviously, right? You're going to the mall around the holidays, but it was wild working there. All right, well, Alex, I want to give you the opportunity to ask a question to our friends from West Shore Connect.
Yeah, I would love to know. I know both of you are involved with some of the clubs here at Central Penn. Yeah. Elijah, obviously, you're in the nightly news. But do you guys want to talk about some of the cool things you've done with the clubs that you're in?
Yeah. So I did the cancer.
Colleges Against Cancer.
Yeah.
With Kristen Fike.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is fantastic. So I have actually gotten to do some work with them in the past, not only just having Mrs. Fike on to the podcast, but they do some really amazing stuff here.
Yeah.
And as someone, I think it's fair to say that most people probably know somebody that's either been impacted with cancer. Unfortunately, my father lost his life because of cancer. So, and I also had a very, very close friend who did as well. So I've always had a special place in my heart for the Colleges Against Cancer Club. What are some of the things you did with the club?
We did the Hope boxes we packed different items in.
Where did it go? Do you remember where it went?
I think it went to a hospital or something.
That was so nice. Honestly, do you know how much it meant to those people to get those boxes? I mean, that is so cool.
Yeah.
Elijah, did you, other than, we can certainly talk about the nightly news if you like, but are you involved in any other clubs on campus?
Not this year, just nightly news. But hopefully I can think about getting into other clubs. That is, if those clubs coincide with the times.
Sure.
At West Shore Connect. West Shore Connect runs from 7:45 to 2:45.
Right. So you got to find ones that meet during the day. Well, listen, I do want to tell you one thing. In your time of being with the Nightly News, you have really showed the other members how easy it is for you to fit in, how easy it is for you to find things that are interesting to you to report on. Because I think, and maybe Alex, you might speak to this, I think probably what's the toughest thing for new people who are interested to come to the meetings is our meetings go quick. I mean, they go quick, they go rapid fire. And so sometimes it can be maybe a little bit, a lot to take on right away. The biggest thing for me is we just want students to find things that they're interested in. So, for instance, you're working on some of these memorials around campus, a story on that. How did you get involved, and what was it about it that was so interesting to you?
Well, first of all, I don't see a lot of people talking about them, so I just am interested in getting to know a lot more about the memorials and what the people on those little plaques, what their lives were, what were they, who were they.
I love this because I know these memorials, and this is always something that I've been really interested in too. Alex, I mean, I'm going to ask you the same question. When you first came to these meetings, you're probably like, wow, these people are nuts. Is that true?
It was definitely a lot to take in. I was honestly pretty blown away to see how well-oiled of a team you guys all are. Everybody worked so well together to get everything done, and I thought that was really respectable, and I was like, this is the right club for me. I want to be with these people and contribute.
I think what's tough is that we only do meet 4 or 5 times a term. And we're working on so many different things. Especially this term, we had just got done with the Business of Baseball event. We had the film series. We had Connection Tuesday today. We do fundraising. We had the hot dog sale earlier in the term. So we always have a lot of things going on. And then we also have each individual person working on a story. And we like story updates from everybody at each meeting. So it can be a touch overwhelming. I will say, Alex, I think, and Elijah too, when you come back in the fall or this summer, whenever you come back, you can come to the meetings. I'll keep you posted. I think one of the things you're going to see is we have a lot of people graduating. And so I think everybody who's still involved with the club are going to be able to step up and not necessarily do more, but maybe have more say in what's going on, because this is the first time that I ever remember our president, vice president, and secretary are all graduating at the same time. So in the past, we've had a little bit of a transitional period off, and somebody might step up for a term or two to kind of, be that sort of buffer. That's where I think that you're going to see, and Elijah, you as well, when you, we come into next term, is that it's going to be a little bit different. So I hope that no one's going to have a place to hide. Let's just say that. Well, listen, we're getting ready because we have a very big board game and ping pong tournament that we have to get to. But I just want you to go around one more time and just, if you were getting to talk to next year the people who are part of the West Shore Connect program, what might be some advice that you have for them?
Always work hard.
I think that's really fair. Listen, I tell my students all the time, hard work is how you're going to get ahead in life. Yeah. So working hard, that's perfect advice. Elijah, what do you think?
Well, hard working too, but also expose yourself to more people on campus, open yourself up a bit more, like how I before I came over to Central Penn, it was kind of a little bit iffy socially wise, but I came here and started opening up a lot more, including getting to go to this club and then making new friends, and of course getting along with my fellow students. So if there's a student who has some same issues as me when they come over to West Shore Connect, I recommend that they open up a lot more.
I really appreciate that. Alex, I mean, you're here in your first couple of terms. Do you have any advice that you might give future students that are new to the college? Some advice from your for success for your first couple of terms?
I would say get involved and get involved early with clubs. That's what I did, and I really am happy that I did that because it worked out very well for me. And just talk to people, talk to other students, talk to faculty members. Everyone has always been so nice and welcoming.
What do you want us to be mean to you?
Of course not.
Come on. No, I know it should be.
Everyone has been so welcoming, and that made the world of difference.
For sure. And I can speak to this just in this respect. I went to a college where I didn't know anyone. It was far away. I don't want to say far away from home, but wasn't necessarily close. It was a 4-hour distance. And the first thing I did when I walked into my dorm room the first day, I saw the person right across the hall from me, and that person is still my friend to this day. So that's, just being outgoing. And I know that it's difficult for a lot of people who are in this situation, but that's the only way you're going to get through it. You got to remember that the other folks are in the same boat as you. So if, you've got things in common, at least as far as that goes. Well, listen, I just want to thank all of you for being on the show today. I know we're very much looking forward to our tournament that we're going to have. But listen, thank you so much, and I wish you all the best. And Elijah, for sure, when you come back, I want you to come to that first club meeting, and I'm going to keep emailing you about those club meetings when you come back from your summer break, okay? And congratulations on your graduation. I'm so proud of you. Listen, you'll figure it out, I promise you. And Alex, what more is there to say? Thank you for doing everything that you've been doing. Putting yourself out there on the podcast, doing these articles. You're going to be a Nightly News All-Star before you know it.
Thank you.
All right, well, that's going to do it for this episode of the Nightly News Podcast. I want to thank Noah Lopez and Alex Foley from the Nightly News, as well as all of our friends from the West Shore Connect. We wish them all the best in the future. Until next time, this is Professor Paul Miller. Thank you.